always, big shout out to all of you who provided insights on how these characters work. I took some of your ideas and sprinkled in a bit of my own experience. Thanks for the input, and keep them coming, guys! Before, we dived into some kiters and their problems. We covered the doctor, gardener, patient, toy merchant, and lucky guy in the last video. This time, let's delve into some more kiters. The perfumer, the female dancer, the weeping clown, the painter, and the entomologist. Stay tuned till the end, folks!
Oh shit!
I have you now.
The perfumer is considered the hottest of all hotties in this game. She's got it all. Flawless skin, a slender figure, everything you could wish for. I bet every male gamer out there at some point wants her to be their girlfriend. Though, honestly, the perfumer isn't exactly lovable, especially with that whole killed her twin sister backstory. But hey, she's so hot we can probably overlook that little detail. And by the way, a lot of people can't stand this one chick because the devs spoil her way too much. Take that Tonight or Never skin, for example. It's won way too many times in the costume voting contests. And not just that, she's got a ton of other fancy skins too. I bet Percy Mains, who've barely gotten any skins in the history of the game, must be ready to murder her out of sheer jealousy. And not just that, this chick is a beast in the game. Her perfuming skills make her a literal tank. If this were War Thunder, she'd be the KV-1B, practically indestructible. She can take multiple hits before finally going down. And when she does go down, it's usually after a full minute of the first chase, turning the game into a real nightmare for the hunter. But besides her adorable face and sturdy figure, the perfumer main is usually quick to panic. You see, her ability only works if she's at full health or won't go down instantly after a hit. When she's in that state, she can use her perfume, and that's where her biggest flop comes in. High-tier hunters often bait these perfumers into using their abilities early without hitting them directly. Once the perfumer's ability is on cooldown, the hunter can easily take her down because the perfumer mains tend to panic when it happens, just as I said. After getting hit once, the perfumer's kiting skills tend to drop faster than your everyday rank. They will then start doing all sorts of shenanigans, like running around like headless chickens, transitioning carelessly, kites in the open, dropping pallets early, or even worse, in lower tiers, hiding inside lockers and offering their souls to the locker god, to the hunter. They'll basically do anything in the most outrageous ways to escape from the hunter. Being a perfumer also means receiving more death threats in the post-match chat than any other character. Many players get enraged when these perfumers miss their perfume skill and are knocked down in less than 30 seconds, which is a hunter's dream scenario. Well, it's understandable though, since being a perfumer means you're expected to be the main battle tank, not just a rickshaw. In this game, the Weeping Clown stays true to his name because when playing as him, you'll feel like you're gonna weep, and you'll feel like you're a clown. The question is, how come? Well, first off, you'll feel like you're weeping because utilizing the Weeping Clown's ability isn't as easy as it looks. There are so many things to consider when you activate his rocket dash, like controlling where the rocket goes, how to turn that thing left and right, and so on. Sometimes, you'll also see these Weeping Clowns activate their rocket too late, only to get hit as soon as they start riding it. And if they do manage to activate their rocket, they're clueless about how to turn left and right, turning them into a tasty snack for the hunters. Seriously, it really isn't as easy as it looks. Those who've never played the Weeping Clown might think it's a breeze to zoom around using that rocket, but in reality, it's as hard as boxing with a shark underwater. So when a Weeping Clown uses his ability and messes it up, they'll feel like weeping so hard because they know the post-match chat will be alive with curses and stuff, all directed at them. And that, my friend, will leave the Weeping Clown main sobbing in the corner. I mean, cut them some slack, guys. They tried their best, even though it ended up looking like a slapstick comedy gone wrong. Secondly, playing as a Weeping Clown will make you feel like a clown, especially when you miss that rocket shot.
Oh, yeah!
You see, the Weeping Clown is armed with a rocket launcher that can be used either to escape from the hunter or to charge directly at the hunter, shooting them and rescuing teammates in balloons simultaneously. The downside is, experienced hunters can always anticipate that rocket shot and dodge it with just a few steps back, rendering the rocket launcher as useless as a white-colored pencil. And don't even get me started on those Weeping Clown mains with poor aiming skills. I swear, you'll start questioning why they even exist in the first place. Some of these Weeping Clowns also like to play the role of team draggers, especially when it comes to the best kiters in the team. You see, his rocket dash can also act as a supporting tool, dragging someone with the Weeping Clown to wherever he's going. In this case, some Weeping Clowns with decent sense would drag the kiter away from the hunter, bringing them to safety. But there's always a small number of these Weeping Clowns who would drag the best kiter directly to the hunter, smashing into them with a rocket, either intentionally or unintentionally. Still, I think the most useful part of being this character is that ability to drag his teammates, particularly away from the open exit gate and to safety. You see, some survivors tend to get really cocky when the exit gate is open, dancing around in front of it even if the hunter can still hit them from afar like Bane, Mary, or even Ithaca. When the Weeping Clown sees them, he can just drag them out of the map. However, the post-match chat can be chaotic since that one survivor could be mad at him for making them escape too soon, similar to saving someone from a sinking ship, only for them to complain about getting their clothes wet. The Entomologist is a perfect example of how IDV doesn't really care about animal protection. I mean, come on! In this game, we've got a blind man abusing an owl, an old guy with a beard riding a boar all over the place, and now we have a lady in a scuba diving helmet using bees for her own issues. So yeah, when I see IDV doing a charity event called Panda Protector, I just say, screw it. The entomologist, Melly Plinius, loves to ride around on her bees like they're her private jet. During a match, you'll often see her zipping across the map using the bees like she's on a world tour. She utilizes her bees all the time. Doing a cipher rush? Summon the bees for transport. Trying to rescue? Call the bees for protection. Running away from the hunter? Get the bees to block the hunter's path and sacrifice themselves. All in all, she's all about bees. Be now, be then, here, there, and everywhere. I bet she'd make a great honey seller in real life, or rather, an apiarist. Often hailed as the queen bee of IDV, you sometimes wonder if this chick, who loves to be blindfolded, is actually a queen bee or just a worker bee. I mean, once she's off her bees, her kiting skills often drop to a worker bee level. Well, of course, those bees lose their durability after being used too many times or after taking several hits from the hunter. And although it's a different story if these melee mains have decent kiting skills, for those who don't, losing their bees in the game is like losing your phone in real life. You'll end up confused on what to do next. And believe it or not, this chick with a scuba diving helmet from the Stone Age is simped globally. I used to wonder why. I mean, would you really love someone who can't even show her face? There are lots of faceless ghosts in the world, yet they only simp for Melly? What the heck? Why not simp for them too if you're into hot chicks without faces? At best, you cannot kiss those ghosts because they're faceless. But later on, I understood why people simp for this one chick. After Nettie's revealed her true face, it all made sense. She's hot AF, bro. I bet many men wouldn't mind marrying her even if she becomes widowed after, divorcing her husband. Well, rumors say she murdered him, but since she's a hot chick, I bet people won't really mind. Am I right?
What the fuck?
During my 4 years playing IDV, I've encountered two main types of melee users. First, there's the kiting type, and then there's the supporting type. But there's also a rare third type, the clueless type. You can count me in that last group. How does this clueless type exist? Well, when the match starts, this melee will find a place to hide, summon her bees, and make them roam the map searching for the hunter. Inevitably, she ends up getting slapped by the hunter who finds her first. And instead of calling off the bees, she runs around cluelessly and aimlessly, as her brain switching off in a panic. At best, this melee becomes bait for the hunter, allowing her teammates to finish 3 ciphers. And then there's the kiting type of melee, who's basically a kiting god. Whenever she uses her bee, she's invincible. She never wastes her bee. She only uses it for transmission or when she's in a pinch. And get this, even when the bees are depleted, this one dude can still kite the hunter for a straight 3 minutes, so effortlessly that sometimes the other teammates come running to her, thinking the hunter must be friendly. Now that's one badass melee. Then there's the supporting type. Her antics include getting close to the one being chased, poking bees near the hunter, pursuing that survivor, and pushing away the hunter using the bees or giving a free ride to the survivor being chased. They'll do that directly, even if the cipher machine hasn't been completed yet. But once the bees are depleted, this kind of melee, like I said, turns from a queen bee into a worker bee. Seasoned hunters always know about this, so they do their best to deplete those bees. After that, they switch targets to melee and can catch her easily, like fishing for a fish, using a tugboat. And well, the post-match chat after that one match is usually lively. The painter is a decent kiter in this game, and it used to be my dream job in real life. That is, until I hit adulthood and realized that being a painter means one step closer to being jobless. Okay, just kidding, but seriously, being a painter is tough. In real life, you're competing with thousands or tens of thousands of painters out there, and there are only a few people who appreciate the masterpieces we create. And being a painter in IDV is just as tough as it is in real life. In fact, I mainly use the painter for cipher rushing, never as a kiter. The one time I tried to kite using him, I used my ability to paint the hunter, and I got hit before the painting even finished. Honestly, it happens most of the time, just as commonly as a heat wave in Southeast Asia nowadays. Most painter mains I see start decoding the cipher machine as soon as the match begins. If they get the first chase, they'll try to kite in a good spot while painting the hunter. If they succeed, they'll aim to put the painting in front of a nearby pallet, going for that epic pallet stun. But their plan sometimes gets ruined when the hunter uses blink to pass through the painting area, or uses excitement. In those cases, it's game over, 1-0 for the hunter. Well, that scenario only works if the painter manages to finish their painting before the hunter hits them. But in the opposite scenario, the painter often gets knocked out before even placing their painting, and the mercenary wouldn't even bother to rescue him. Even worse, there might be that one teammate spamming, "You're on your own," which is literally another way to say "buck you" in this game. In that case, it's 2-0 for the hunter. It sucks, doesn't it? Like I said, being a painter is tough, whether in real life or in this stressful game. Now, what if the hunter chased someone else first? The painter usually decodes a cipher peacefully, but wait until a teammate gets knocked out and put into a balloon. When it happens, two scenarios occur. First, the painter continues decoding and leaves the rescuing matter to the rescuer, though they may choose to decode peacefully too. Second, the painter moves away as soon as the knocked out teammate is ballooned and tries to rescue them, charging through like John Rambo. But the reason he becomes a Rambo isn't entirely about rescuing. It's usually because the painter wants to disable the hunter using his painting ability. Well, you know, like an Ultraman, who chooses to become an Ultraman not to save the day, but because the payment is good. And when he uses that painting ability, the outcome is exactly as I mentioned earlier. Oh, and here's a bonus! A clever hunter would equip the excitement trait, pretending not to have any excitement. Then, when that painter swoops in for the rescue, the hunter activates the excitement, hitting the painter mid-rescue and giving him a terror shock. In that case, it's 3-0 for the hunter. I sincerely wish she could be renamed. Instead of being a female dancer, it'd be better if she were called the female decoder. First, because we often see her decoding rather than kiting. Second, because her music box is pretty handy for decoding. Third, being a dancer implies you should be good at dancing, right? But as I see it, the doctor is doing better at busting moves than her. Well, I'm not saying the female dancer can't dance. Her moves are good, no doubt. But why is it the doctor doing ballet instead of the female dancer? I expected the dancer to do ballet since it's so popular worldwide. It would make more sense for her to do it instead of the doctor. Everyone knows ballet, right? Even I know ballet. I even tried it once when I was a kid. Back in elementary school, I'd watch TV commercials featuring ballet performances. I thought it was so cool. You know, wearing those white dresses, jumping around, moving like a swan. Super cool, right? So one day, I decided to try it out in front of the TV while the show was on. My little brother saw me, but I didn't care. I kept dancing. And he told my mom about it without me knowing. The next day, my mom praised me, saying, "Bless you, dear. You're doing a great job practicing karate." Never tried ballet again after that. Hated it from that moment on. Let's head back to the talk about the female dancer and her music boxes. You know, those boxes are actually pretty good for decoding too. Well, they're also handy for kiting and supporting teammates, but using them for peaceful decoding and cipher rushing is probably safer, right? That way, the hunter wouldn't even be there to break those music boxes. And if the hunter spots the dancer cipher rushing, she can just loop with the help of the music boxes, or use them for transition. Pretty versatile, huh? That's why decoder mains also use female dancers. Some even go as far as calling her a decoder. Some dancers also use her music box to help out other teammates in need. This usually happens when those irresponsible kiters lead the hunter right to those who are peacefully decoding, including the female dancer herself. Though this move can sometimes block the teammates' movements, especially if the dancer picks up the music box from the ground. It's a rare phenomenon, but just imagine if it happens. A survivor running away from the hunter, only to have their movement blocked by the dancer picking up her music box. I bet the post-match chat will be lively if that happens. Another skill that the female dancer has is the spinning ability, which is like a double-edged sword. mean, I was a badge dancer, and it took me a while to master that spinning trick. You spin to the right first, then to the left. By doing so, you can escape the hunter's grip, even if it is in the open field. But you'd be surprised how many female dancer mains don't seem to realize it, even in high tiers from what I've seen. They just can't seem to get it right. Some end up spinning right into a wall, or even worse, straight into the waiting arms of the hunter. It feels similar to watching someone try to dance their way out of a maze, but they keep bumping into the walls.
Over here! You asshole! Are screwed. Yeah, you're totally screwed. Stupid!
And those are the kiter's problems in today's segment. Remember, as always, these are all just jokes, and I don't intend to insult anyone in the video. If you have any more input for this video, or for the next one, or simply want to share your experience, feel free to drop it in the comments section. Thanks for watching, folks!